Yeah, it was Horizon. It was
Last week-
Horizon.
Who the fuck picked this? Why do we want to watch?
Best days passes by, and most long for a place that they never find. I'm afraid I wake up when I die, and it is too late to climb any mountain. Time is of the essence, the blood running through our core. It's best to not feel sorry when it's over. I will be the greatest that you've ever seen before, and I'll stay eternal. Eternal. I hope it's real. This life comes around. Just keep your faith and search for the fountain. Time is of the essence, the blood running through our core. It's best to not feel sorry when it's over. I will be the greatest that you ever seen before, and I'll stay eternal.
Every time we say goodbye, they all see that it's a lie. 'Cause we always give it one last try. Yeah, you've watched me break 1,000 times. Now I'm all alone, 'cause you never show. You say you will, but then you don't. That's how it goes. Don't wanna know. I'm turning off my mind so I get by. I just wanna be happy, happy tonight. Happier tonight. Happier tonight. Can't be waiting for you in the morning. I'ma leave without giving a warning. I'ma leave without giving a. But every time we say goodbye, we all know that it's a lie. Now I'm all alone, 'cause you never show. You say you will, but then you don't. That's how it goes. Don't wanna know. I'm turning off my mind so I get by. I just wanna be happy, happy tonight. Happier tonight.
All right, everybody, welcome back. I believe this is week number 5, I want to say. It might be week 4. I'm losing track here.
Oh, we've been here a while.
Midterms, dude. I'm hitting midterms this week, and it's absolutely funkling my brain. But what's not getting funkled here is we have Horizon back once again on the schedule going up against IDE. Horizon still looking to get their first win of the season. They're currently 0-4 at number 8 in our standings, as you have seen in the starting screen. And Iridescent Dawn is 1-3, looking to go up in the rankings here today.
And right here, we're already seeing a lot of very specific targeted bans. Once again, I mean, we've seen this time and time again where teams say, you know what? I know what's strong. I know what players like to play. And we saw a lot of Ulvark on that Varus the last week. So, you know, we are going to be seeing that Varus and Philly B's Nico taken away, the Kane as well here. Meanwhile, it is all about the jungle from Horizon. I mean, they've just taken away 3 of Greece's picks here. I mean, I doubt that we're going to be seeing any of those, you know, more hard carry junglers out of IDE here, unless you see like a Kha'Zix angle or something along those lines, you know, something a little crazy here. But the Senna, to start things off, very, very standard, very stable, and the immediate Aphelios picked up as a counter pick.
Yeah, and the Senna basically is going to tell me that they're probably going to be opting for something like the Tom Kenshin to the bot side, something, you know, been pretty meta standard even before the recent patch that came out. But no, they're actually going to be opting for the Leona support. So this is probably going to be Senna 80 carry, which I also think we saw last week, unironically. Yeah. But it was, I don't think it was Horizon playing it.
I do not believe it was Horizon. It was, in fact, Akuma Halberds who were playing it. I mean, farming Senna is a lot. It gets you a lot of gold early. You lose out a lot on your damage output. Sorry, not your damage output, your range, right? But you definitely do not lose out on the damage output. So, you know, you've got that damage, you've got those frontliners to help you out here. And now, you know, the Wukong I like from ID, but I especially like the pick of Brand here because, you know, if Wukong ever clones as you start ulting, that is, you know, just damage out the wazoo. But, you know, as we saw before, right, that Brand has gone to Philly B in the past. So IDE is still looking to take away more potential jungle picks, right? Dropping the Volibear. But with Yorick gone, I do believe that those are actually targeted towards Fuff Zone.
Yeah, Volibear did get some buffs on the recent patch and has seen a surge into the top side, especially going up against something like the Udyr, so that's going to end up getting banned out, so we will not see that matchup be coming down. But yeah, Volibear is getting a pretty good surge in top side play. I personally enjoy it myself a little bit here, but yeah, last week I believe we did see Philly B on that Brand in the mid lane, so that's probably going to be going to them once again. And now Fuff Zone is going to be on this Cassante. I believe they were catering him a bit more towards tankier top laners last time, so now we're going to get to see him be the overso carry of the top lane.
Okay, and the Olaf pick here from ID, I think they're just going to look to try to slam things in that top lane. Once Olaf does get a lead on Cassante, he can start just running down those towers, making something happen, and with champions like the Talia, with the Wukong, you can absolutely make those cross-map plays, you know, with the Weaver's Wall, with the Dawning Shadow, and a Swain pickup here. Okay, very interesting from Horizon. So this is very much like a 4-1 or 1-3-1 composition from IDE. Meanwhile, Horizon just want to deathball.
Yeah, and this is definitely telling me that Shreyu is going to be opting for this brand in the jungle. We have seen, I think Philly B was on the Swain last week as well at some point. So this is definitely telling me Shryu's picking that brand into the jungle up against the Wukong. So he's going to be farming the heck out of this while, Greece, they got to take advantage of that. They have the early advantage to get laners ahead. And I'm looking directly at that bot side. Keep this Aphelios from being able to scale into potentially what I believe can be a lethality build here. There's not really much anything that's too tanky on the other side. Leona and Olaf being the main case, but I mean, burst damage from Aphelios and Brand, it's not really enough compared to something like, I don't know, an Ornn or an Udyr.
Yeah. I mean, it's not any kind of a super tank, and you're already going to get tons and tons of % max health damage, so I definitely wouldn't be surprised to see that. But what I would be surprised to see would be either of these teams not utilizing something as useful as pro comps, right? So pro comps, as we've said before, a very, very useful tool, allows you to, get that really professional style drafting. You have the things that are customized for you, for your enemy, for your team composition, anything you could really ask for, and it's been in use by so many users at this point. Why not pick it up? Either way, we'll have to see how things work out on the Rift themselves as we get underway. Oh boy.
So we're not just about ready to get onto the Rift just yet. And I don't know if either of these two teams were ready to use pro comps either. But we'll see when we get out there. I'm really liking Horizon's comp. I think if they play it pretty well, they could be able to take map number 1 here. I like this scaling of the brand. Aphelios is an absolute disgusting damage dealer. And then, you've got Cassante that could just take anybody out of the fight. Like, if Leona becomes a problem, which she's a CC menace, as we all know, with that Solar Flare and the flails as well as her stun, he could just Cassante ult her, and then there goes basically your only front line. And then, you could win a fight off of that. So I'm really leaning towards Horizon's comp here. But we'll see. Maybe Iridescent has something cooked up with this farming Senna. That's the main thing that's kind of eluding me at the moment.
I mean, honestly, farming Senna just does so much more damage than fasting Senna early on, right? So, it's not really until you get to the later stages of the game where you start to feel the effects of not having all of those souls. So it's a question of, can they get ahead enough early on to really make that Senna work there? Because if you can pour everything into this Olaf and get the Olaf ahead, then you're going to have to start sending more and more members of Horizon over to that. And the number one way how to deal with a death ball, how to deal with an Exodia composition, is to break apart the pieces of Exodia, right? You just take those cards, you tear them up, you throw them into the ocean, also known as the side lane, and right here, IDE in control of the side lanes as far as the compositions are concerned. So we're going to be seeing a lot of stuff to do with that top lane. So much priority on getting that Olaf ahead. But right here, right now, we're just going to be seeing a very standard 5 points, nothing too crazy.
Yeah, another thing I want to mention is that we have almost a little bit of brawl comps on both sides with the Olaf Wukong and Leona wanting to brawl. And that's where Philly B is going to be able to come online with the Swain ultimate, because Horizon's composition at the moment can brawl just way better than IDE's comp can. So you've got to kind of take that Exodia comp and figure out how you could split apart pieces with your own brawl comp. And it's kind of difficult. And like you mentioned, the best way you could do, throw Eddie Boy into a top lane and force Fluff Zone to respond to him. And then you've got Eisenhower, who's got TP and Weaver's Wall, can force him down into the bot lane or something like of the matter, and try and get Philly B to rotate down to that as well. That should open up angles for Greece to come in, get a nice engage off of Chill Will kills, and Bubble Lift will be there to follow up as well. And going up against a brand Aphelios and Nautilus at that feeling, I feel like IDE can come out in the 3v3.
Yeah, I mean, in the 3v3, it definitely could work out here, especially because, you know, no matter how good a 1v1 looks, it could immediately turn into a, you know, 2.5v1, right? With that Dawning Shadow going across the entirety of that map. I mean, this Senna is super, super high value, and oh my lord, Eisenhower just getting so many of these Qs in already. You know, that is not looking great for Philly B in that mid lane.
No, but it's honestly what we're going to be expecting. Eisenhower's going to be forcing wave shoves, especially looking to get that level 3 online for the rock slide. Chillwillkill's going to land a nice flail into the root, so the chain CC is coming down, but not nearly enough damage. Yes, Keepsake's going to go back in off the dredge line. He's going to commit that ignite. Flash forward out of Olveric after Bubble. If use the flash, can he get the sniper gun off? Not in time. Nearly Chillwillkill's lands a nice flail, and they're turning this back around with the range from the center. Flash forward. First blood's going to go over to the support Leona. Keepsake should be able to get out in time.
Yeah, and just like that, the flash forward from Chill with kills, very not chill, but very much in there with those kills early on. I mean, that was looking so good for the side of Horizon until ID's bot lane just turns it all around, just gets that advantage. You know, it's so hard to chase down the Senna once she's procced, you know, that fleet footwork, that ghost, you know, super fast while running away there. And with that self-healing, gonna be able to stay alive for just long enough.
Yep, they're looking for another engage here, and that is Grease coming down as well. Averic is already chunked down, no flash online, so will they commit a turret dive? Sutek is going to be in the area, but they've already chunked down this Brand, and Grease is looking to get that pick off. He is able to find that one, at least get something off this bot side engage as well. Eisenhower is trying to keep chunking down Philly B. Grease not giving up on this AD carry, recognizing that he does not have flash online, and the Graviton gun will not save you. A good root pull from Philly B, but the rocks just doing a little bit more damage than the Magic Fingers. As we see a rock slide knock-up combo, it's looking blow for blow. Philly B forced the flash, and they nearly trade 1-for-1 as Eisenhower lives with like 50 HP.
Yeah, and just like that, IDE starting off the game, 4 kills at 4 minutes. Eisenhower feeling great, Grease feeling great. I'm sure Bubblelift and Chill are feeling incredible here, but the #1 loser here is Olvaric. Like, just so much pain as Eddie Boy is taking the brunt of this one engage, but I don't know, this just doesn't really seem to quite be working out here.
Yeah, I agree. Suit is able to get a nice bit of chunk of damage there onto Eddie Boy, force them away. They've yet to get that Olaf a good early advantage as Keepsake's coming up the dredge line, barely misses. Eisenhower doesn't have flash online and still lives anyway. It's absolutely wild of a play, especially with the first dragon coming online here soon.
Yeah, I mean, right now the question is, you know, Dragon's coming up, the Grubs are coming up. What is your team focusing on? Now, Grease has the Grubs fully under control, but Chill with kills in this river, looking to roam up to that mid lane, guaranteeing that there is no one on that Dragon. There is going to be no response here. Sutek not quite in the right place at the right time, caught a little bit late on the rotations here, instead just picking up the Raptors. The Grubs have already been eaten up there. You know, 2 out of 3 at the very least, but oh boy, I cannot wait to see how strong the Senna gets.
Yeah, and the Grubs are going to be pretty crucial for Eddie Boy. Split pushing on the Olaf is going to allow him to get even more of a presence across the side of the map. We see pings are coming down, the first dragon is online, and we see Eisenhower is roaming, has the Weaver's Wall online, has hit level 6, so is looking for that mid lane gank potential, is going to get spotted out on the ward. And all of the members of IDE are rotated into this area for the Dragon so far. But no mid lane advantage, no bot lane advantage just yet. But both junglers are in the area, so I'm expecting a gank out of Grease with the Cyclone. Should be proccing here soon. Oh, no, is still level 5, looking to take this Gromp as Suit is going to get spotted and have to clear out the ward. Suit, I believe, actually ended up smiting that one, which was interesting as we see a bot side engage coming down. Bubble left able to find one. Keepsake should be tanky enough to just run away to the tower. Suit forced to use the Ghost in order to get away in his own jungle as Philippi rotates down as well. And this is looking like a complete jungle advantage and win for the side of IDD. They even win the 2v2 in the bot side as well. So first dragon, being a Hextech, should go into their favor.
And honestly, you know, only so much can be put on, you know, the jungle itself, right? Sutek has done a great job of trying to make something happen, but when your lanes, you know, Philly B, Olvaric, and Keepsake are all suffering here, you really can't get this advantage. And oh wow, they're trying to make it happen.
Philly B is going to commit ultimate as well, and there goes the Sentinel shielding up that support, keeping them alive, but they will end up falling anyway. Bubblef is ignited and is forced to retreat away. No health bars on the side of IDE, but they're looking to re-engage. Grease is going to try and dodge off that dread line, and the dragon does go in favor of Horizon, and Keepsake should be able to fall for this. He's able to trade out 1-for-1 though, and it has the flash, so he's able to get away. And Bubblef forced to flash out the unstoppable from Puffzone as it's just Bubblef 1v1ing Olvaric in the
red light.
1v1ing Olvaric inside that pit right now. Olvaric's going to be able to flash forward. Puffzone finds Eisenhower, but will this support AD carry be able to get away? 1Q to try and heal up, and he just barely escapes in the nick of time, but that was a horrible fight loss for IDE.
Yeah, I mean, it was looking so good for IDE, right? You know, everyone in the right place at the right time. It all looks incredible. And Horizon say, you know what? I don't care if it looks good. This is our dragon. We're taking it. We're going straight on in here. And okay, what exactly happens over here? You know, Keepsake and Olvaric just go straight in.
You gotta be careful. No Moonlight Visual online. Chill Will Kills is able to find that one again. 2-1 for the bloodthirsty support. You know, Chill really be killing down here.
5 assists on that Senna as well.
We should flip flop the roles.
Yeah, I mean, this is the farming Senna after all, right? If you give all the farm to the Senna, just give all the kills to your support. But yeah, it was honestly incredible. The fact that Horizon got as much as they did off of that fight. You know, it was such a huge force, but it worked out in the end, right? Sometimes when you're down, you just have to start coin flipping, but you know, you cannot take more of an advantage than you've already received here. Meanwhile, in this top lane, off of that one roam, Eddie Boy has started to build up a solid lead. The Tiamat is going to allow them to just continue to push down this lane, continue to pick up those plates. That's already 2 out of the 5 plates on this tower. You know, definitely going to be feeling mad nice about that one. So much gold in the pocket.
Yeah, Puffzone was able to find a kill in the meantime, so the gold kind of evens out almost there. But like you mentioned, that Tiamat is, those waves just aren't going to be existing, and Puffzone is going to be forced under his tower mostly for the remainder of this until he can get help. Transline's going to come on to chill Will Kills as well as the Graviton Root. The Flail comes down in the meantime, stunning up Keepsake, trying to keep him from engaging back into the lane without getting punished a little bit, but you know, it's an auto, so nothing really is going to come up off of that, especially with those plated steel caps. But we see Suit is in the bot side of the jungle, maybe looking for some sort of mid lane gank, maybe looking for some pressure here. We see him prioritizing towards that. A nice rock slide into the knockup. Philippi's going to be committing ultimate, and Eddie Boy and Grease are in the area, should be able to roam down in the nick of time. They've spotted this top laner out. He's going forward with the Ragnar, not nearly enough damage, but Bubblef is able to snipe him across the map, picking up another one, and that's a great stun from Eisenhower. Is able to find the finisher on to Suit, and they should clean up the Void Grubs in the meantime for that. So, you know, we talked about, another engage here. It's going to be able to CC chain up Keepsake with the Solar Flare coming down. The Ignite forced onto this Nautilus too, but the Midnight Vigil comes out in response. Not nearly enough to find the kills onto either of these bot laners just yet. I wouldn't be surprised to see a tower dive, but it might not happen.
Yeah, I mean, Weaver's Wall is available. Eisenhower just dropping out of vision here, you know, just putting the threat in to their eyes. Oh my lord.
Flash fail into the root. Chill Kills gets his 3rd of the game. 2-0 on the Senna is forced to retreat away. Might have to eat a turret shot here or two. Who knows? Suit is trying to land a decent stun, but Bubblef gets a root off. I'm surprised that does not root the Nautilus there as well. Looked like they were standing right on top of each other, but gotta be careful there because this Senna is starting to hurt, and I think Suit is underestimating it a little bit there.
Yeah, I mean, Sutek, I honestly think has been in a very decent spot for a lot of these plays and tries to make something happen, but it's just one step too late each time, right? You know, the brand doesn't really have any way how to force anything, right? You know, you don't have super fast dashes, you don't have super fast speed or anything like that. You got a ghost every 180 seconds, but you know, until you get to that point, you have to be there early. You have to be there first if you want to make these things happen. But right now, you know, Sutek struggling a little bit, trying to keep the pace with Grease's Wukong. But oh my god, Ulvarik again
gets rooted out immediately. Eisenhower is there. The rock slide comes down. It's gonna push him back into bubble. Should give this kill over to the AD carry. This ADC is not having fun. If you look up in the Urban Dictionary, the definition of an AD carry player in League of Legends, this is what you're seeing. They're not having fun. Speaking of having fun, Eddie Boy absolutely slays Suit as they force out 2 ultimates to respond to him in the top side off of the Ragnarok. He's having an absolute blast with the Ravenous Hydra now online on this Olaf. And now IDE has to find a way to respond to this because, I mean, no one's really helped him get fed. He's done this himself. Keepsake's gonna land a nice stretch line engage. Turret shots are getting eaten from Chill Will Kills. That's gonna force the ultimate out of Bubble Lift. And now he's just gonna retreat to the tower, trying to get out alive. But Ulvarik comes in with the Moonlight Vigil to help out with the turret. The turret is fallen. Ulvarik, you flash into the root! He flashes into the root! Ulvarik is now going to fall once again. And Suit, I honest to God, don't think you should go anywhere near that.
Yeah, hence, I don't know, Cilantro, can you spell tilt? Because I think Ulvarik definitely can, as every single one of these, you know, moments, opportunities just feel so close yet so far. You can see that they just want to make something happen, but IDE just getting away with it each and every time. The Felios has been suffering 0-7 and 2 on that AD carry, as right here, you know, IDE are starting to snowball into an just an absolutely uncontestably strong lead.
Yeah, 7K gold lead across the board already. We're not even 15 minutes in. Can we get a gold check? I'm 90% sure half the gold is on the bot side. Yeah, 6K, 5K.
Oh, God.
Half the gold in this game is on the bot side of the map for the side of IDE, and that's going to be devastating to play into. Eddie is finding himself in another 1v3 scenario. Has the Ghost online, however, so is able to get a retreat from that one. But the reinforcements are coming, and Eddie recognizes that, looking to land a hook on the Keepsake keep buff zone, and Keepsake trying to engage here. Oh, the dredge line comes down. They see a potential another 1v3 engage opportunity as Suit's gonna walk forward and the flail's gonna come down. The bait has been set and the trap has succeeded. They find the enemy jungler, and I believe Rift Herald will be spawning up here soon, so they're just gonna funnel straight into that.
Man, and you know, these teams just trying to make sure I don't get much of a chance to talk here, as we have so much, you know, we just have so much action again and again, and oh my god,
not Ulvarik again. Leave Ulvarik alone. He didn't do anything. He's just trying to live. The Rock Slide, they don't get the knock up onto the ADC, but it doesn't matter because Eisenhower finds him anyway, and he kills Keepsake. 4-1 on this Talia so far. Eddie Boy looking to test his luck against the 1v1 in the top side. Got that Ragnarok offline, whereas the all-out is up for Buff Zone as well as the Ghost. So should be able to retreat, but look at Grease. It's looking to come in from behind. They might look for some sort of turret dive, but the wave is not in their advantage. Does not matter when you have a Rift Herald. Buff Zone might be forced to use the ultimate onto Grease here. The Cyclone does end up coming down. The Unstoppable and ultimate going through just to try and escape. Will Grease allow them to? It's looking like they have no other option though. That's a nice root on the Suit. Does a good bit of damage. Honestly, for a root, that's a lot of damage.
Yeah, I mean, that, like I said before, right? That's the thing about farming Senna. She does so much damage earlier on. It's really not until the late game where you start to feel the loss of those souls. And do we even have to cast this part? I mean,
it's just Keepsake and Ulvarik dying once again, as we are aware. But actually, no, they are able to get out this time around. Chill Will Kills. I mean, he's got the kills part. He definitely will kill you, but he's not chilling.
I mean, this player is far from chill, absolutely just going in at every single opportunity, right? That's what you want to see from your engaged support. You want to see them pulling that trigger as much as possible, as often as possible, whenever it's reasonable, right? And I think that every single one of these engages have been very, very reasonable from Chill with Kills. Look at the lead that is built up, and look at how much damage Eisenhower does.
This is one of the reasons why I love playing Talia. You just chuck rocks every 2 seconds. And it's absolutely absurd the amount of damage you do. And they're looking to clean on to the next dragon. About a minute till that one spawns up. Eddie knows that the all-out is not online just yet. Will be coming online now. But it still wants to test his luck in this 1v1. You know, he's 2-0. He's got the Hex Drinker online as well. He's feeling pretty confident going up against an Iceborne. I don't think that the Bramble Vest is going to do a little bit too much. But mid lane turret will end up falling in the meantime. And honestly, Horizon, how do you find an angle back into this? This is a great stun from Philly B. From Eisenhower onto Philly B. I don't know who wins that fight, but we see an all-out coming out in the top side. Back to the bot lane. Flash going to be coming out. Can you knock him into the tower? Philly B is forced to use the flash as well. He's going to knock him into the tower, and then nice send ultimate comes down, and it is a trade out 1-for-1 though so far, but Eddie Boy trades for the tower into the top side. Buffstone already used that all out, but Grease is there with the Cyclone's going to be able to knock up 2, and they're looking to go onto Olveric with the flash, and Wukong's going to be able to find him. Keepsake is going to be a trade out that 1-for-1 onto Bubble Light, but it does not matter because Buffstone will end up falling. Now they're looking to go onto Suitke if possible, but it's just down to Chill Will Kills. Force the flash away from the auto, but the Dredge Line will end up finding him anyway, and it's Horizon trading blow for blow, but I believe coming out on top this time around in the trades across the map.
Yeah, and Sutek picking up that shutdown on to Chill with Kills here. Now, I know you just asked, how in the world Horizon find a way back into this? And there's your answer. ID just get a little bit too trigger happy, a little bit too antsy, you know, just say, you know what, screw it, let's just go for something fun, and it works out incredibly for the side of Horizon. You know, ID right now back on the map, looking to once again make Ulvaric's life a living hell, but I mean, Eddie Boy, only so much further that you can push in. You saw just how much pushing too hard did for you last time.
Yep, Horizon's already starting this up. They're going to get the Dredge Line down onto Eddie Boy. Forced to use the Ragnarok already. The Moonlight Vigil's going to come down onto 3 members and force Philly B and the ultimate to face out this brawl. And they're looking to get more. So far, it's a 1-for-1 trade as Chill Will Kills forces the flash out of Olveric. They're looking to hunt down that 80k, but it does not matter because your front line has fallen. No jungler online. And this Swain is going crazy. This is the fight we were talking about. Philly B, all you have to do is live in your ultimate, and you come out on top in these brawl engages as Olveric finds their second of the game. Only 2 in 9 now. The comeback is real.
Yeah, I mean, as we said before, this is a death ball composition. This is the team fight composition of team fight compositions. Now that Exodius pieces have slowly started to get back online, that tiny bit of respite is really coming into play here. I mean, Bubblelift and Eisenhower just going to continue to take away as much from the enemy team as possible. We haven't even hit 20 minutes, so we're not even going to have the full buff sharing there. But, you know, with the Dragon Soul as a possible answer from Horizon here, as we get later and later into this game, ID have to pick up the pace a little bit. You know, they have to understand we are running a split push composition. We are not running a death ball composition that can just beat out an Exodia comp like this one. You have to play it so controlled. You have to play it slow in the fights, but you have to play it fast in the side lanes. You have to be so careful here, and a single misstep could be enormous, and so far we've gotten 2.
Yeah, I agree. Eddie Boy eventually is going to start falling off here too because, well, I mean, there's no better top laner than Cassante, as we know. The champ's been meta since he came out. So, Fuzzone starting to hit that scaling. He's got, I don't know why I'm blanking on
Thornmail.
I don't know why I'm blanking on Thornmail. It's like one of the most common items
no
in the
worries.
game. But got Thornmail online, so that's a lot of armor there. So trying to negate the amount of damage that Bubblelift can do, but then Eisenhower's there to back him up. Got that Rabadon's Death Cap finally online, looking to hit that 3rd item, Power Spike. I think a little bit too early for the Rabadons in my taste, but he's looking to hit that 3rd item. Swain's got Rayleighs, and, you know, so does Sutka, so they're going to be able to do a lot of slows, not going to be able to run away from the Swain and the Brand. They both have Ghost online as well, so the death ball starting to slowly but surely favor Horizon. It's really what it's coming down to are these AP champions.
Yeah, I mean, Sutek on this brand is going to be able to put slows across the entirety of the enemy team. Meanwhile, Philly's Rylai's will be able to keep IDE, you know, not only slowed up until Sutek gets there, it also keeps the Swain alive, right? You know, all that health on the Rylai's, even if it didn't have the slow on it, would still be a phenomenal item for Swain here. But speaking of phenomenal items, that Thornmail working out wonders in this 1v1 here.
Yeah,
Eddie Boy in Fluff Zone.
Forced to use the Ragnarok already. In Pops Ghost, trying to run away. Fluff Zone trying to chase him down. That's a lot of damage onto Eddie Boy. Fluff Zone winning out in the 1v1 so far. He's absolutely destroying Eddie Boy. After an early advantage to the Olaf, it trades back into favor of this Kazante, and that's a horrible pick to lose there. Eddie Boy will have the TP online, but Horizon, they can start to position towards this Baron if they ever so choose to. Fluff Zone just going to try and pull people to the bot side, can TP to the Baron, but they're going to opt to not go for it just yet. I mean, it makes sense. I don't think that there's a world Horizon realistically goes for the Baron right now, primarily because, well, Olveric has one item. Oh, two items now. Two items. Cash stickers.
Yeah. I mean, that's the big thing, right? As we said before, IDE, they're running a split push composition, right? You know, you've got the Talia, you've got the Olaf. As long as you can get the Olaf ahead, then you can absolutely control the pace of this game at all times. But this could be terrible.
They're looking for a flip. It's already at 8k. They're feeling they have the damage advantage. Philippe's going to be a little bit late to the fight. Who will engage first? The Weaver Wall is going to come down, and it forces out Keepsake all by themselves. They're looking to engage onto that, but look at the damage from the Moonlight Vigil. It absolutely chunks Eddie Boy. Philippe uses the ultimate to get the lifesteal off to try and stay alive as Grease engages with the Cyclone on the 4 members, and is going to end falling. So far, it's a 2-for-1 trade. Bubble Lift only able to get out one. Eddie Boy trying to find something, but cannot engage with that HP. And Eisenhower, the AP carry, has fallen as well. But hear me out. The Horizon health bars are probably just a little bit too low to take the Baron.
I don't think so. I think they absolutely can do this. I mean, Eisenhower put out so much damage towards the end there, just chunking absolutely everyone. And Philly B, on the other hand, just barely surviving enough to pop Eisenhower, to pop Bubble Lift, and this Death Ball is absolutely online. You know, 1, 2, 3 strikes, you are out, and all of a sudden, the gold lead has dropped within 3k, and that is an absolutely unacceptably close amount of gold if you want to keep pace here as IDE.
I agree. We have another dragon fight coming, and IDE has yet to win a team fight here. They're all going in favor of Horizon, and the ultimates are back online. The Moonlight Vigil is back. The Nautilus ultimate is back, but that's a massive knock-up into the Solar Flare. Olveric is forced to flash that one away, and Grease knows the win con angle. Looking to move into the blue buff pit. Can he go over the wall? No, is not able to find the angle to go onto Olveric. They pick off this ADC, albeit he does not have too much impact. He still is a major target priority, but they have gained the jungle advantage, at least in positioning so far. So I think they're going to be opting for a potential another flip here. Oh, that was Philly B having to recall out. I believe Keepsake is channeling a recall as well, so they're giving this dragon. It will go 2 apiece to both teams.
Yeah, I mean, that's why that earlier dragon was so important from the side of Horizon, because, you know, picking up that one Chemtech dragon means that they're not on soul point. You're not contesting for anything super huge here. You're just slowly farming up to the point where your AD carry starts dealing, you know, truly relevant damage. Because, you know, in that last fight, the Moonlight Vigil did a decent chunk, but it really was, you know, the Swain ulti, the Brand ulti, right? Everything really coming into play, just popping at the right moments where IDE was like, oh god, this is so much more AoE damage than we had really anticipated. Meanwhile, you know, this Aphelios is definitely scary when he crits, but, you know, you're sitting on 40% right now. You know, you're not even at the 50% threshold where it's, you know, expected to have a decent amount of damage. 60% is where things really start to shine. So, you know, if you can get your AD carry to that point, that's when the Aphelios starts to become a real and clear threat here.
Yeah, and I think Eisenhower got to get that third item online as soon as possible. They're leaning towards the Morel and Omicron. They've already got a Mortal Reminder. It's going to be, I mean, a decent amount of lifesteal, but I think what's mainly going to come down to is target prioritization. All of you focus out Olveric, or you all focus out Suit. You're going to chunk that person down more than having to deal with the Swain. I think the Swain is the primary problem. I think it's more so on who they're engaging on first and what they're targeting. I don't think Swain should be the primary target. Pryo, as Olveric's health bar absolutely gets destroyed. And that's going to be Eisenhower with the Weaver's Wall coming in on the Suit, pushes them back into the Weaver's Wall, stuns them up, but Suit has that Ghost online, so is able to retreat from that. But a great pick onto the AD carry there. Not going to get too much of really anything off of it except for a wave push, but we see another top lane 1v1 potentially coming out here. Fuffzone realizing he has the advantage, forces the Ragnarok out already just off of a Q3.
Yeah, I mean, as we've said before, right? As I've said time and time again, I'm sure people are getting tired at this point, right? Horizon, death ball composition. What's the number way how to deal with an Exodia comp? You take away the pieces. And the moment that they stepped up with 3 out of the 5 pieces, they immediately get punished there. I mean, yes, Fuffzone taking care of Eddie Boy, that's totally fine. Philly not being there means that IDE are allowed to just walk straight up to make that happen, right? I mean, Keepsake, yes, is kind of tanky, but not nearly enough of a threat to really dissuade IDE from just walking straight into Horizon. Meanwhile, you know, Sutek does a lot of damage, but if you don't have enough time to put out that damage, it's not quite going to matter. Olveric getting caught out one more time, still going to be in a little bit of a rough spot for the team, right? You know, you have to protect this AD carry. You got to protect your baby, your damage dealers, right? You know, that's what the AD carries are, right? They're the children of the team. You got to raise them up into that strong, mighty warrior, you know, just force feed them their Wheaties to become those champions. But until you get to that point, you've got a very fragile champion on your hands.
Wheaties are gross. Give me Frosted Flakes any day of the week.
Oh, come on. It's the breakfast of champions.
Yeah, we know what Frosted Flakes, they're great.
I don't really eat cereal for breakfast. I'm more of a, I'm more of eat just like rice and eggs.
Rice
and
for breakfast?
I'm Asian.
I don't know. Whenever I go to the gym, and people are like eat chicken and rice, I just can't because like I can't. I don't know. I don't like dry foods.
Why are they dry?
Chicken is dry. Rice is
better
dry.
Chicken.
You know what else is
Oh
dry?
God, Olveric is dry.
Olveric is running dry here.
Run dry on those health points. Oh my lord. 3 and 11, suffering quite a bit, but you know, no big objectives spawning soon if you know, close your eyes and don't look at the big objectives that are spawning soon. So
the big objective
I'm guessing that should be the Baron straight over to IDE. I don't think that Horizon can really contest this with with 3 people.
They're moving. They might be. It's already down to 6K though. They've got to move quicker than what they're moving. Billy B's gonna end up missing out the route. Suit's trying to land a Q over the wall, but does not get that. Solarfish slows them all up. And I don't know, man. You know, at this point in the game, off that Baron, maybe ID is just, you know, they're chatting themselves up like all that for a fake comeback. But they're gonna be able to find Fuffzone. Fuffzone uses the all out onto Grease. It's gonna go unstoppable to delay the knockup, but gets stunned up from Leona anyway. And Grease is chunked down a decent bit. Olveric is going to be back into the fight. Can get a huge Moonlight Vigil here to chunk all these members down. But speaking of chunk, the dragon is essentially gone. Philly B comes in with the ultimate, and they're chunking down this Swain. But he goes golden with the ultimate online, and this is looking a fight win for Horizon. I think try to get the dragon and get out, but I also think that they're also just prioritizing Swain too much.
I mean, I don't know. Philly B just outputs so much damage in these fights. I honestly think that this Swain is the primary damage dealer that they have to be worried about here. Meanwhile, you know, Eddie Boy right now just going to be able to get out with this recall. I mean, I doubt that there's a way that Sutek can get there in time there, but I mean, yes, that's a lot of focus onto the Swain that has Zhonya's, but it makes sense. The Swain does 1 billion damage and a half, right? Meanwhile, Uvarik just dies to a stiff breeze here, so, you know, why not just throw a skill shot in their direction and then just walk away. But, you know, this Swain is really the big thing keeping Horizon in the game here. Philly B's Swain just does so much damage. You cannot die a single time. The moment that Leandri's gets completed on this Swain is the moment that Horizon gain strength to really take over these team fights again.
You know, if Horizon actually somehow pulls this game back and wins, do we give out an award for the most carried individual on a team? Is that a
no
a thing?
I mean, at that point, that is 150% a tilt proof and a half, right? Because, you know, Ulvarik might be having a rough game, right? But the fact is, Ulvarik is still playing to the win condition, still trying to farm up, still trying to put out what damage that they can, right?
I agree. I mean, he has a CS lead over the Senna now, so I mean, props to him. He's probably battling some inner demons right now, as we know all AD carries do. But he's keeping with it. He's got 3 items online and is coming back to do whatever he can for his team. So, you know, actually props to him.
Yeah, I mean, every once in a while, we all get carried, right? You know, sometimes you sit back and you're sitting in a game, you're saying, hey, you know what? It'd be nice if this was the game that I got carried in. But right now, Ulvarik just trying to make it so that way it's a lot more close of a game, right? You know, that's 3 items on the Aphelios. Once you start to pick up a little bit of lifesteal, a little bit more damage, right, then you're going to see this Aphelios really start to come into fruition here. You know, you've already got your 60% crit. I do believe that that is overheal, so I'm guessing that's going to be either a Bloodthirster or a Shield Bow on the Aphelios as the next item here. So once Ulvarik gets that, the survivability of this Aphelios actually shoots up a huge amount.
I agree. I think it's going to be a decent power spike there. We see a interesting Youmuu's buy from Bubble Lift. I feel like that's a very late item buy there. Honestly, this Senna build in general was a little interesting to me. But if it works for them, it works for them, you know?
So basically, the thing about Senna that's interesting is you don't really need that much crit on Senna, especially as Senna, because, you know, with the souls, right, you're going to be getting, let's say, 20-40% crit chance around this point. So Senna should have around 100% crit chance. So after picking up a few more souls, we'll start to be indexing into that lifesteal off of that. So picking up some lethality items, especially like Youmuu's, that just increase your survivability, is such a huge boon for you. Let's get a little bit of a soul check on Bubble Lift real quick. All right, so 109 souls. So I do believe that that should get you to around like 95% crit chance or something like that with this build here. So, you know, Bubble Lift right now going to be able to output a ton of damage, also heal a lot off of these autos.
Honestly, I want to see IDE just move up towards the Baron here. Ignore this dragon. You have 3 dragons. You're not sitting at Horizon getting soul point here. They're going to go to soul point, but they're not sitting at soul. Like, they're not going to get soul.
Oh, this is perfect.
I think I think what Eisenhower is doing is great. Fantastic. I think pushing it down the mid lane is also great. Another dredge line there is forced out. And now they're kind of pinching onto the members as Eisenhower's just going to keep pushing this base. They're trying to prevent them from recalling. He's going to get a free inhibitor off this. They might have found an angle on the keepsake, though. Dragon will eventually end up following. So now if you fight this and lose IDE, you gain nothing off of it here. Potentially, Philly B goes with the ultimate. And that's a huge stun route. But will it amount to really anything? That's going to be chunked down keepsake. It gets ignited. Will fall to Eddie B. And that is Eisenhower picking up one as well. Trying to help pick up 2. Eddie Boy trying to slay Buffzone. Kenny went out in the 1v1 this time around. Buffzone with the Ghost is trying to run away. I think he does not win this time. But
look at the mid lane.
Run out. Oh, Eisenhower barely misses that. But, I mean, Buffzone, Re-engaging on the Eddie Boy. Should be able to win this one.
Oh!
Yep, does finally. The inhibitor finally fell on the top side too, but I kind of feel like Horizon comes out on top that fight, even with the top mid trade.
Yeah, I honestly do think that Horizon do come out on top there. I was going to say, IDE, we're playing that phenomenally, and then they decide to fight for the dragon. I think that you just leave the dragon. It's soul point, yes, but even if you let the opposing team pick up that dragon, you're not really going to be losing out that much on it. Meanwhile, you could guarantee the inhib super early on. You could rotate over to that mid lane, pick up another tower. I think that a tower plus inhib is a huge amount of an advantage there, and trading it for one dragon that's 4 soul point is very high value there. Philly B picking up the kill on to Eisenhower with what I presume was the Swain W at the last second is really important here as well, because Eisenhower, you know, used up that Weaver's Wall, used up that teleport. So getting to this Baron is going to be a struggle for the Talia, and IDE is coming up late, and right here Horizon in a phenomenal spot.
It's already at 4K. Solar Flare comes down to try and slow them up, but it... Oh! No!
Oh!
Chris gets there in barely nick of time to be able to steal that one up. It's a great stun up from Eisenhower to keep them from running away from their team. So that's 2 Barons for IDE so far this game. And we're going to have a 50-minute game here at this point, Anti. 75K on the gold. Not yet able to solidify an entire lead as Horizon has found angles back into it, but holy, what a play from Greece, keeping team alive. Honestly, you lose that Baron there, you start to argue where the state of the game is going to end up turning.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, right there, it's not even a matter of just Greece getting that smite, because that was a phenomenal smite. Don't get me wrong. Chill Will kills with that solar flare was so unbelievably important to make that play happen, right? You know, the DPS on the Baron was so fast, so much of it, and then that one solar flare hits 3. All of a sudden, 3 of the champions hitting Baron stop getting a chance to do so, and it just gets paused at 2K. Right? You know, literally one more rotation of damage and that Baron goes down, you know, and Horizon basically have the control over the game. Meanwhile, IDE right now, just all of a sudden have so much more control just wrested out from Horizon's hands.
Yep, and look at Eisenhower forcing pressure into the spot side. Great 4-1 split so far for the team of IDE. They should be able to solidify an easy mid tower here off of a Baron empowered minion wave. Not really much you could do to defend this if you are Horizon. Just got to respond to Eisenhower on the bot side. In my opinion, the Midnight Vigil is going to go completely wide. They force Ragnarok though out of Eddie Boy. That's a pretty big ultimate down. No one is still responding to Eisenhower. He is pushing a 2 Baron waves into this inhibitor. Now they're finally going to recall or go down there and force him out, but they are now sitting with open inhibs on the map against a Baron buff. It ain't looking too hot if you're this team of Horizon. There was a ghost pop. No ghost pop there. I thought I heard the ghost. No, Overic actually did pop ghost there, interestingly enough. But they find Eisenhower in the bot side. That's all off the back of buff zone. Greece trying to disengage for this mid laner. Uses the Cyclone, but will end up falling in the meantime as well. So 2 Baron buffs have been knocked out of the hands of IDE. And, I mean, this game feels like, at this rate, it's going to come down to who has Baron buff and Elder Dragon. And we're going to be at 55 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, looking like a UB Classic. We're getting a 7 Dragon game. And Baron once again taken out here, as I do believe Horizon are in a phenomenal position to pick up this Baron. But IDE right now, secret agents looking for the XPK, looking to try to take out the game while Horizon are caught on this dragon here.
He doesn't get the unstop on the root. The solar flare comes down too. Do they have the CC chainage on the Fuff Zone? They've just got to burst him down. The only person that's going to be in the area is Keepsake. And actually, no, they sent Olveric to recall. They haven't even slain the dragon. Olveric flashes away, but they flash onto him. And then damage might not be enough. The Moonlight Vigil comes down. Philly forced to go golden inside the ultimate. The tower has yet to fall. The Chemtic Dragon comes down in the nick of time. They're going to be healing back up the members of Horizon. Eddie Boy's going to get hooked up from the dredge line. And it's all for naught. IDE, it was a great effort, but it was not nearly in the nick of time.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, it's all or nothing, but all or nothing put onto the Cassante. Fuff Zone surviving for just long enough to stall things out for the entirety of Horizon to come back. Ulvaric as well getting, flashed on, stunned up on, but surviving long enough.
First of all, the ADC doesn't have, the ADC does not have dash. They know that. Oh, they were not able to find him though. Ulvaric picks up a kill there. And this is actually pretty crucial.
Yeah, I mean, Ulvaric now essentially almost full build. I mean, the only thing missing is going to be a Guardian Angel at this point. So you can't just ignore the Aphelios anymore. This is a level 17 Aphelios with 4 completed items. So much damage. Flash coming out from both Keepsake and Bubble Lift here, as the Senna can only scale so much.
They're starting to do it. Anti the dredge line and knock up onto Bubble Lift. They find them. The TP's coming in from Fuff Zone to continue forcing out this fight. The Philly B ultimate does so much, and all of the members except Eddie Boy so far have fallen for IDE. It's not looking like a fake comeback. It's looking like a real comeback. Eddie Boy trying to clean up the wave so they can't push down mid lane. He's gonna get stunned up. They've got to turn and respond to this Olaf. He's buying as much time as possible for his team to come back in the nick of time. But the Baron will be spawning up in 30 seconds, and it's looking all Team Horizon right now. I mean, I don't think we've seen IDE win a team fight in like 10 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, right? IDE, they're not supposed to be winning these team fights. They're supposed to be, getting the macro plays off, getting so much more control in these side lanes. But, you've taken out so many towers, but if you can't take out the enemy nexus, it doesn't really matter. IDE got that early lead, and I said it earlier, right? 4K as a goal difference is not acceptable from IDE if you want to be able to control the pace of the match. Horizon have a death ball comp. You have to play around it now, right? When you're this close in gold, especially since, when you get to that 80K amount of gold, then the gold starts mattering less and less because basically everyone's going to be full build.
Started up the Baron Horizon. Fuff Zone there, being a bit of a distraction, keep that enemy team from roaming to it. Eisenhower on the bot side of the map, no TP, it's just going to fall. They can't contest it whatsoever. And now the gold lead is down to 2K. I believe this is the first time Horizon is going to end up swindling a gold lead in their favor the entire game so far. And they're feeling as confident as ever to win fights here. They're running it down the mid side, root up just to delay the push a little bit. They're trying their desperate means and desperate measures to keep this team out of their base for as long as possible. We have one last turtle defensive composition here, and you've just got to come up big somehow. Eisenhower lands a nice rock knock up into the Nexus turrets. Maybe he gets enough damage onto one of the characters that can find a pick, but both of the Goldens are online for Suit and Philly B, so I don't expect anyone to fall as the Moonlight Vigil chunks Eisenhower to completely half HP, but they do a lot of damage on the Philly B. He's going to use that ultimate back online. He's going to find Bubble Lift, looking for more. Suit's going to be able to kill that Leona, and it's just all Horizon Zero Gaming. They are not making it a fake comeback. The comeback is absolutely real, as they're going to be taking game number 1 in 45 minutes, 1-0.
And that's not just game number 1. That's game number 1 of the series. That's game number 1 of the season. Horizon Gaming finally on the board. It was a shaky early game. Ulvaric gets, all 4 for tilt proof there. Because man managed to stay, so focused on the win condition just say, you know what, this game is still winnable. We can still play it out. Philly had so much damage. Just, I mean, the Swain was so incredibly strong in those mid fights, but look at the damage dealt to enemy champions at the end of the game. It is Ulvarik on top with 53,000 damage, most damage in the entire game, done as the Aphelios. And if you drop that one as IDE, I can only imagine what kind of sports psychologist you got to have on your side to bring it back for game number 2.
Yeah, full credit to Ulvarik there. I mean, what can we say? At the end of the day, an ADC will do ADC damage, and that's what we saw. And he kept to it and kept strong. So I'm looking, if we're gonna hit damage numbers, yeah, Grease was kind of negated that entire game. Really couldn't do much of anything, especially into that heavy brawl comp as a Wukong. I mean, we don't expect him to do too much, but yeah, no, it was all IDE the beginning of the game. And I gotta give credit, like, yeah, Ulvarik ended up doing the most damage, but like, I've got to give credit to the AP scaling, Suit and Philly B. They absolutely were crucial factors in their team coming back into this game.
Oh yeah.
But, yeah, we're just gonna throw it over to the standings real quick, just so you guys are the schedule and standings real quick, just so you guys are aware of who all is playing throughout today. I believe we have our lovely Mario Kart 7 up against Iceborne White tonight, which, if we look at the standings, pretty sure Mario Kart 7 is still undefeated. Iceborne White, you know, in that 4th place spot, maybe looking to knock off the champs. No one has done it yet, but, you know, they're not gods, so it can happen. Then we've got, you know, Akuma Hellbirds, which we watched last week, going up against Novasphere Gaming. Another team I think we also have seen, they are looking at number 7 in the standings, looking to move up, so they're hoping for an IDE loss here tonight. And then we also have, lastly, Khan going up against Dorado Gaming. So in terms to our standing, Khan's sitting at a nice comfortable number 2. Dorado looking to knock them out of that spot.
Yeah, I mean, every single one of these matches are bound to be bangers and a half. I mean, whether or not you expect to see, you know, super back and forth games or super one-sided games, we've got them all here. So, I mean, either way, I'm pretty excited to see how those ones do come out. But, I mean, I'm still not over that last match there. I mean, so, Cilantro, as I said at the very beginning, right? All of it relies on whether or not you can get the Olaf ahead, right? So that way the Olaf can start dragging people to those side lanes, start really, you know, making the, you know, the plays with how strong that champion can be at controlling the map. And then we had 4 kills on the side of IDE at 4 minutes from all 4 roles, except for Olaf. Basically, Olaf, you know, in a very good spot for a lot of that game, but never the focal point of any of IDE's pressure there. And I think that's where they faltered a lot of that, right? I mean, you're building a split push comp, you're looking to split push, and then IDE gets ahead early, throws their gold lead around, you know, slaps Horizon with their wallets a little bit. Doesn't quite get to do the split pushing that they really wanted to do, though, because, you know, Fuff Zone's Cassante was so unbelievable impactful, right?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, later on in the game, that's what a Cassante is going to do. Doesn't matter if he gets ahead early or not. If he gets ahead early, he just gets to do it a lot sooner than what. But yeah, Olaf not getting ahead early was great for Horizon's game plan headed into the late game. But that is going to be it for our map number 1. We will be getting back with you shortly with the draft for game number 2, and maybe, you know, maybe Horizon's going to snowball into 2 map wins in a row for the first time this season. So.
Maybe.
They brought me alive, but got no outlet.
Wow, what an absolute insane map number one. Horizon picking up their first map win of the season, potentially looking to finish IDE, finish him. Mortal Kombat 11 or just 12. I don't even know which one is
It's
out nowadays.
MK1.
They keep making so many of them. How are we back to one? We went from Xbox 360 to Xbox One, Mortal Kombat 11 to Mortal Kombat 1. I don't even know what we're at anymore. Screw it. Let's get a League of Legends 0 at this point. So, but yeah, back to the map here. Back into the draft. Horizon's going to be on the blue side, whereas IDE is opting for the red side. Maybe they're thinking Horizon had the magic touch on the red side. They wouldn't give it their chance.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, the Senna got picked up instantly by IDE on that blue side, so maybe they're looking to ban the Senna this time to avoid that possibility here. But maybe we also might see something a little bit more spicy. Maybe we see the ADTF. Maybe we see the Smolder make an appearance here. But I mean,
rapey one.
Who knows? I mean, maybe we'll see a Cassante on one. Oh, it is the Senna. Okay. All right. So that's the big reason as to why you want the blue side right now is that huge power pick in that Senna here. And the small... They called her Cassandra because no one listened to her.
We're going to have another 50-minute game.
But we have scaling already, but Viego from IDE means that you're always going to have that snowball opportunity in these compositions here. And, ooh, I don't like the Maokai pick this early on here. So, the reason why I don't like that, right? So, it's probably going to Sutek, which, don't get me wrong, it could also go to Tamik, like, the Maokai could go to a variety of places, right? So it's not going to be going to Sutek, right? So the big strength from Maokai, right, is, hey, you know what? We don't know where the Maokai is going to go. It could go top lane, it could go jungle, it could go support. Probably going jungle or support. Now, two, I don't like Maokai when Milio's available. But IDE evidently does not share my same hatred for Milio, and instead going to be picking up Braum. So yes, you can block out the ultimate with the Unbreakable. Yes, you are going to be having a lot of strength against the melee champions on Horizon. I felt like a champion like Milio would have been absolutely perfect for that opportunity, though. Just give Smolder a little bit more range, a little bit more survivability, and just negates Maokai's ultimate as a spell as a whole. But either way, taking away the Cassante, taking away the Swain, those problem picks that Horizon just was absolutely able to make that comeback with are now off the table. So we need a lot more magic damage from Horizon to really round out this composition.
Hey.
IDE picking up that Azir should be doing fine.
You mentioned comeback picks, and we have a Smolder on the field. So, yeah, I feel like the king of comeback picks has been picked for IDE here at the moment. And Akali's going to be traded out for these here. Now, this is fine. We see this a lot. This matchup comes down quite a bit, just about as common as Silas versus Azir. Akali, great pick into Azir. He throws out the Emperor's Divide. Doesn't matter because she hits the kickflip and just goes over the wall and dashes back to him. He can't really escape from her. But we have a spicy topside matchup here with Buff Zone continuing to get this carry montage domination on the Renekton. Very, very strong pick. Haven't really seen an uptick in his play rate since Worlds. I've actually kind of seen him go down a little bit since Worlds, but good to see him back on the map. And Eddie Boy, they realized, hey, you're not going to be our win con. We didn't play to your strengths last game. What better to do than to put you on somebody who, no matter what stage of the game, you will be impactful.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really surprised as to Horizon's picks here, right? We were starting to get with some scaling. We see some scaling from IDE, and we see some returns from Horizon, and now they fully index into that early mid game. So, you know, these teams have essentially traded the compositions entirely. So we'll have to see whether or not that works out on the Rift. You know, does Horizon have what it takes to fully close out the games if they get an early lead? Or does ID have the mental fortitude to close out the games, or to hold on until you can close them out at the end? On the Rift is the only place where we're going to be able to find the answer to that question.
I agree. And something I want to point out is Horizon's composition really says, hey, you got an advantage last game early on, so we're going to push that for that advantage and end the game sooner, because, I mean, we scaled and ended up winning the game. We are confident in our team fighting now after winning like 7 team fights in a row against you guys. So we are going to just push and play confidently and get that aggressive lead ourselves here. And, you know, that's especially what Kane, Akali, and Renekton want to do. So now they've just got to put it into paper. I expect a lot of bot side ganks. I think we're going to be getting a red Kane here, because there isn't that much ranged, except for, I guess Azir counts as range. And Eddie Boy will be obviously range as well. So, but it's going to be probably prioritization towards the red Kane here, if I had to guess.
Yeah, I mean, I'm guessing we're going to be seeing the red Kane, right? You know, lots of diving into that back line, you know, knockups, aggro tanking. Oh, goodness. But yeah, I mean, Horizon right now, their comp basically just says anything you can do, I can do better. So on the Rift, already getting into the swing of things. So we are having some very different players, right? So, you know, we had Ulvarik the last game. This time it is not going to be Ulvarik. It is going to be box.
It's my favorite name. Question.
Oh man, how do I read that name? I forget.
Do we have a production? Know what the name is supposed to be? Take him. Okay, so they definitely need to take him back to the summoner name change, and get that one sorted out. But everything is pretty standard for ID. No subs there, and keepsake on the. I guess.
Now, what I will say, right, about this Senna player. Looking up the OPGGs, is a master tier Senna main. Senna one trick, it seems. Not quite one trick, but definitely Senna main. 58 games played on that Senna. 4 games played on the next most played champion. So, seems to be a little bit more familiar with the Senna than a lot of other champions, and has managed to pick it up on that blue side, already doing a lot of damage early on into Bubble Lift and Chill.
Yeah, but that also kind of begs the question, why didn't they throw him in on game number 1 if they were going to run the Senna? But maybe they just have different composition styles that they throw and mix match around. Bubble is going to be poking out this Senna. God, honestly, interesting to see that he's able to match the range there. But it's all really going to come down to that level 2 advantage. Who can come up with that? And I feel like mid lane, you know, we got to talk about the roam timers. Obviously, Akali as an assassin has some insane roam timers. Can get this bot side ahead, or even can push to help shove this Ornn into the gutter as much as possible. Which I wouldn't mind seeing if I was Horizon.
Ooh.
Oh, this is an invade, early invade from Suit on the Kane, looking to get some early buffs. Does he win this out though? It's really looking like it's going in favor of Greece. Could have been anyone's game really there. Both their HP bars are exactly the same. Is going to get more orbs towards that red Kane, however, but was forced to burn the flash early on as the jungler. That's definitely something you don't want to have to do.
Yeah, and meanwhile in this top lane, that, you know, amount of prio is what allows Sutek to go for those crazy plays there. But I don't know, it was a little bit of a gamble and didn't quite pay off. You know, Drees able to hit that level 3 just in time to win that fight out. Meanwhile, Renekton, you know, taking a lot of that early damage. This could be rough.
It's definitely going to end up being Anyboy flashes forward with the auto. It forces the flash out of Puff Zone, but is able to get up that solo bolo. Anyway, I was just about to say, do never underestimate Ornn's damage. He is an absolute beast of a 1v1er in the top side.
Yeah, and Fuffzone and Eddie Boy both going to immediately commit those teleports back up into the top lane. Honestly, I think the gold itself isn't that abysmal just yet for the side of Horizon here. I mean, Fuffzone, you know, still sitting on a pretty CS lead, and with the control of the wave should be fine, but should not be able to do too much.
Engage from Keepsake, pushes Bubble Lift into this setup, but the setup has no mana, and they've recognized that. Keepsake's gonna get chunked down immediately, forced to find a way to recall, but it's great poke back and forth in this bot side, but one of them will come without the advantage soon, hopefully with the jungle invade. But 30 seconds till the dragon spawns, and both these junglers are gonna be at the top side of the map.
Yeah, meanwhile in this mid lane, Philly and Eisenhower just going at it. Okay, so one thing I got a note from Eisenhower, this is Tank Azir. So I know we mentioned scaling before. This is the scaling on scaling, right? I mean, Azir is a champion that scales pretty well already. And thank you, Showmaker, for showing the world that you can be even more of a scaler on this champion and still do a billion damage on the Tank Azir. As with the grass, it becomes very, very difficult to really get much in terms of kills onto the Azir. And later in the game, once he picks up a death cap, does do damage, but, you know, that death cap's going to be like 5th item, right? So, I mean, until you get to that point, it's going to be a decent chunk of damage that you have to worry about, but, I mean, this team truly is the scaling team.
So basically what you're saying is we're watching NA League of Legends, essentially. We're watching NA League of Legends. So let's sit and do our own thing until 30 minutes where we start fighting.
Pretty much. I mean, Fuffzone already tried a little bit of early fighting and got punished for it. So, you know, maybe that's just the play, right?
It could definitely be. Void Grubs were able to be picked up early for, I believe, Horizon, so they have that little bit of an advantage. Fuffzone knows that the jungler is coming up, gonna have the gank. It's gonna get him a couple orbs towards this red form, but not nearly enough to give him that one online. And with that jungler showing in the top side, that's gonna give Grease the angle to go for that dragon. Eisenhower has roamed down as well, but it's up to Keepsake and Take Him to try and negate this. Philly B is not going to be able to roam down. He's not going to have a timer. He has to respond to the wave. This Cloud Dragon should be free for the taking of IDE. Oh, Philly B is moving. Maybe they aren't going to try and give it without some sort of a fight. It is going to end up getting smited here, no matter what, out of Grease. So they do end up getting that one. But yeah, you know, maybe a little bit of misplay at the macro call there with Dragon spawning at the same time.
Yeah, and that Cloud Drag, honestly, it's not the hugest deal, right? You know, I mean, a single Cloud Drag, it's nice for the slow resist on Senna Q, on, you know, the, what do you call it, the Maokai saplings, but there's really not so much to gain from it, so that's fine to give over. You're not going to be looking to hard contest that early on. Now, the reason why these early dragons are so important is the thought of the potential stacking, right? I mean, when we get to the later stage of the game, we know that it's not going to be a Cloud Soul. We know that it could be something crazier, and oh lord, we know Fuffzone's gone.
Yeah, we do know Fuffzone will be slain there. They're trying to respond with some sort of maybe tower dive into the bot side. Root's going to come down, only able to land up onto chill will kills, but it's really feeling like we're seeing the kind of same thing that happened in game number 1, where IDE gets an early lead and Horizon funnels that into a later game win. But I feel like with the composition that IDE has, you really don't want to give them an early lead because you will not outscale them in the later half.
Yeah, once again, blue team have a composition where their top laner needs to be getting ahead early. And once again, red team is the one that plays around it. Which, honestly, props to IDE, right? I mean, we called them out for struggling to play around Eddie Boy early on in that last game, and in this game, they've 100% played around Eddie Boy, right? Both of those kills, 100% kill participation over to Eddie Boy. I mean, one of them does come from a 1v1 due to untimely management of that tower aggro, but, you know, Fuff Zone on this Renekton going to start struggling a little bit, right? The tankier and tankier that this Ornn gets, the more difficult it'll be for the Renekton to really come forward with a real, you know, kind of advantage.
Yeah, Eddie Boy got the Balmy Cinder, got a Bramble Vest. I wouldn't be afraid to fight this Ornn, really. He's only got 2 long swords and a pickaxe. You land a knock-up if I'm Eddie Boy. You got the Call of the Forge God online. You land a knock-up off of the pillar. Honestly, go for it. Take the 1v1 there. I believe you can win out on it at this stage in the game. While Renekton is down, you can further push your lead. We see Senna hitting a nice roam timer into the mid lane. I believe nothing is going to be able to come up out of that. Much like these top ganks, nothing really able to come up off of ganking an Ornn. But they're going to roam down to these Void Grubs. I think Philly B is aware that the Viego is on them, and he has to go over the wall. I think he was able to pick up at least one. Can we pan over the Void Grubs real quick? It looks like there were 2 there. Yeah, so I think that Grease was able to pick up 1, but I don't think it matters because Suit was able to get 3 the first time around, so they should still get the 5-stack buff.
Oh.
Meanwhile, Keepsake finds a great engage. The Nature's Grasp is forced as well. There's that small ultimate we all know and love. Bubble Lift forced to flash away. Flashing forward is Keepsake with him, trying to get the empowered autos heal off of the Smolder. Can he poop him back? Yes, he can. Keepsake able to find that one. Can Cholo Kills respond with a kill here, though? Not looking like it, but you're not out of this just yet if you're Horizon. Grease is coming down with a vengeance, with the ultimate, looking to hit the resets. Does get spotted out on the ward, and they should be able to get away with murder here, the Horizon bot lane.
Yeah, I mean, just like that, the Senna Maokai, a very, very strong combo, honestly works out so well here, and the wave in such a good spot here. All of a sudden, Eddie Boy in trouble.
3 people this time. Can they get Eddie Boy now? They're committing the dominance and flashes too. Philly be able to pick up that one, not going to the top laner who you probably wanted it to go to, but it does not matter. It's actually a good thing that Philly B picked up that one because of the plate that Eisenhower was able to trade off, as well as the wave advantage. So you keep your mid laner at an even gold state with their enemy laner, and they pick up a Lich Bane off of that, and get those Dark Seals stacking. I'm looking at Philly B, had a great performance last game. Now he's on an absolute carry champ. I'm looking to see what they can do.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest concern, right, for Philly B is, you know, what champions are you actually going to be able to jump on, though, right? And I think at this point, the only real answer is going to be Smolder and maybe Viego. It's just a question as to how strong does Grease get, but with this build, I don't think Grease is going to be getting too particularly tanky early on. So, you know, if the Akali gets a little bit more damage, you know, you could see it coming into fruition here. And speaking of coming into fruition,
Flashes are popping left, right, and center. Another Bubble Lift ultimate comes down. His Keepsake trying to keep his laner alive. Sutek with the Kane ultimate, not able to find nearly anything and has to flash away, but let's take him. Getting the cleanup onto the Viego. Philly B in the area too, and they're just trying to kill Suit. If possible, one auto the heal up, and he gets the lifesteal. He lives. Philly B trades one there as well, so the mid laner, the bot laner, the support, all fighting kills there. They're gonna get a jungle too. And it's honestly looking like game number 1. IDE, you had it in the first half, and now Horizon is clawing back.
Yeah, I mean, IDE had it in the first half in game number 1. It hasn't even gotten to halfway just yet.
On Philly B.
I mean, right now, the only thing that's halved is Eisenhower's health bar.
Power forced to flash. The ultimate comes down and he kills him anyway. 3-0 with 6 Dark Seal stacks. This man is still performing. Nature's Grasp, it hits Grease. They deny this jungler for coming in. And Su, he wants to get in and fight with his team, but Chill is able to just dash away to Grease and get out in the nick of time. That was almost a disaster. Another bot lane gank.
Yeah, and perfect execution in that mid lane. Perfect execution on the escape from Keepsake, as well as Horizon are looking very, very strong early on. I mean, yes, they did draft the early composition, though. So you have to wonder to yourself, just how much longer will this be the truth for this game, right? You mean, how does Horizon look to try to seal this one out, right?
Oh, no.
IDE have a phenomenal scaling composition. Red side AD carries, on the other hand, have just been suffering every single game.
Yep. Red side is arguably not the win side. I mean, we saw that at Worlds last year. Red side is definitely not the win side. Baron's Gnasher's Tooth is going to be picked up for Eisenhower, though, so it's going to have a little bit more attack speed, trying to do a little bit more damage. Can he match up against Philly B, though? At this point, it's not really feeling likely, but Philly B, you have 6 Dark Soul stacks as well as a 400 bounty, so I wouldn't let that get to your head too much there. 1 kill onto you, and IDE can find an angle back into this game, but they're going to use this lead that the mid laner has and push into the Rift Herald. This one should be free as Grease is roaming to the bot side. Will not be spotted out on awards just yet, but they will grab the Rift Herald for free as the Shurikens are just eating away Eisenhower's health bar. At this point, I feel like he's trying to pivot out of the tank Azir, but it's just too little.
I mean,
too late.
This is pretty much the tank Azir build, but oh my lord.
Hey boy with the TP, Call with the Forge God. They can't find Keepsake. He's still full HP. There are 4 of them here, Anti, and they are doing absolutely nothing.
Yeah, I mean, Keepsake, beautifully timed Q, going to be able to deny that Call of the Forge God reactivation here, and all of a sudden, what in the world? Horizon are coming out so far on top. 4 people to this bot lane and 2 towers looking to go down for the side of Horizon here.
Just half HP. He can't fight back. Chill with kills is weak too. It's a disaster for IDE. Left, right, and center. Actually, correction, top, mid, and bottom. It is a complete disaster. The bot lane turret should be able to fall here. A couple more autos from Take Him, or they'll just go for about 1 more wave. And they're not going to let Grease escape with his life, or at least they're trying not to let him, as Su is running them down. They know there's no ultimates in this bot side available. They're looking for the 4v3 tower dive, but they need to get the wave in a proper state, push it under the tower before going for it, so they're not going to find it this time around. As that hits Suit, it delays the back for a little bit, not really causes much of anything really, but objective bounty in the... Oh, nope. Objective bounty claimed to the top side by the minions. Minions equal minions. And now this bot lane turret will fall. Keepsake goes in on the bubble lift. No flashes online. Bubble lift opting not to use it though. The Nature's Grasp trying to run down Chill with kills. I don't think he did get rooted up. Does not matter. And within the span of 5 minutes, not even 5 minutes, 3 minutes, you lost 3 turrets across the map.
Yeah, I mean, you lost 3 turrets across the map. You lost 3 lives from your AD carry, and all of a sudden, I think you lost the expected win status, right? I mean, Horizon went into this as the complete and total underdogs, right? Not a single win under their belt until this series. But game number 2, all it really took was that 1 game, and all of a sudden, Horizon looking so incredibly strong.
You know, we were talking earlier at the beginning of the Rift, about substitutions, changes from both teams. IDE not really making any changes on their roster. Whereas Horizon subbed in a couple players. I think we misread something here. I think IDE subbed in Olveric for Bubble Lift this game. So
okay, come on.
They've made the AD carries swap.
Well, I mean, if that is Olveric, playing for Bubble Lift here, then we are absolutely going to have a monster of a Smolder to deal with later, because the biggest thing that Olveric did have, right, is, the propensity to just constantly rotate around to different lanes, get the gold under their belt, you know, just put yourself in a good position to scale up, keep up with the enemy AD carry at all times. Meanwhile, Bubble Lift continually getting out-farmed by Keepsake right now.
Yep, that is absolutely absurd to me. The Maokai farming is insane. And Horizon's going to be able to pick up an Infernal Dragon. You know, they're going to be stacking these ones up. They're going to have about 3 of them if they get to Soul Point. And that's not really something you want to go up against. You know, 3 Infernal Dragons with an Akali on the other team. A Senna that's got almost 2 items online with the Curfew Shard and Phantom Dancer. As well as Suit that's going to be moved. Already has that Red Cane online. I feel like the Infernal Dragon is just not something you want to give over to Horizon, but right now it's not looking like there's much of an angle for IDE to stop them. Gold lead is only at about 5k roughly here. So we have seen that dwindle. Horizon, I think he's at a gold lead. No, IDE had a gold lead early on in the game, but now we're going to see the tides of the game start to cool off a little bit. We got 50 seconds until Baron. What's up?
So you're telling me that Senna souls spawn off of enemy jungle camps that the enemy team takes?
Yes. It's a monster that dies. It spawns off of
I mean, like,
monster.
when your team's taking it, I get it, but like...
if you can kill it, it spawns a soul. It's not...
If it can bleed, it has a soul.
No, because you can't kill your own minions, at least not yet, Riot. Please don't make a character that makes you kill your own minions.
I feel like denying is too big of a jump. We're
not
Dota.
Man. You never know, man. We got freaking Hui, who has 200 million combos, so you never know. Maybe
Hui is baby invoker. Like that's not an issue.
Yeah, I don't think Hui is really an issue. But anything is possible. I mean, we now have a flying dragon in the bot side that shoots fire out of his mouth, so...
Which surprisingly is one of the most simple champion designs that they've released in a while.
It's like a better Asol.
Oh, I don't know about that. I think that they're just different champions.
And then what Asol could have been. That's what this is.
A child.
Asol could be a child.
But yeah, I mean, either way, right now IDE kind of kicking themselves in the butt for what could have been that early game, right? I mean, they had those early 2 kills, they had that early lead. Eddie Boy was looking like in such a great spot, but right now is just slowly falling away from them as they're diving on in.
The flanking Maokai with Nature's Grass, the flash from Bubble Lips nearly is not enough as Philly B finds that angle in the back line to be able to pick up that kill, and it's the dominance that is going to end up falling, but the mid lane turret should collapse here. No, one more tick. It's going to burn away from the point damage though. So will they turn this fight back around, Horizon? Is the question you have to beg here. They're going to wait out the clone from Greece. He's not going to get a stun off just yet as Eisenhower chunks a bit of damage at Take Him. And that's IDE's angle, you know. Hey, that 8 Senna is pretty low HP. If they try to fight this, we just collapse onto her. And Horizon, they recognize that. But it was a good fight when they only lost their top laner, which in reality isn't really losing anything right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's mid-game Renekton, right? Mid-game Renekton without a lead, right? If there's a champ that you're fine with giving up in the middle of the game, it's probably that one. Fluffzone, obviously very strong player, as we've seen time and time again, and now playing a little bit more supportive despite playing a hard carry champion, right? With that Black Cleaver. Speaking of which, Black Cleaver, unbelievably strong buffs came in on this patch where Black Cleaver now 5 stacks, now doesn't care if the opponent has any shields, and oh my god, Philly B does not care if the opponent has a health bar because 100 health, 0 health, it's all the same.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, any carry player trying to have fun, you know? It's 2024. You figure they learn that they're not allowed to have fun. Speaking of not having fun, Left Zone. You might be caught out here, forced to dash away. This should be able to get out. Suit is in the area, so can do a little bit of, you know, helping out that top laner to be able to escape in time. But now I'm starting to feel some Baron angles tingling, bro. One of these teams wants to go for this Baron, and I know it is Horizon. They gotta find a pick first. Maybe they're looking for it onto Grease here. No, not gonna opt for it. Eisenhower having to respond to this bot lane shove. Has TP online. So are they gonna go give this dragon, go for the Baron angle, extend the gold lead, or do they fight for the dragon, win a team fight, win the dragon, and end the game? That's the decision that Horizon is looking to make right now.
Yeah, I mean, right here, right, as you said, right, they're looking at Baron, Dragon also coming up, and my biggest question, right, is this enough of a lead that Horizon can't throw this? Because IE had an insane lead the last game, and then that one got thrown really, really hard. But that was because Horizon had a... Okay, yeah, that's cute. Replacing the control word so that way your opponent can't get it is my favorite thing to do. But, you know, Horizon... were able to do it because they had an Exodia comp, a Death Ball comp. IDE have a scaling comp, but I wouldn't exactly call it an Exodia composition just yet, right? I mean, these are champions that scale, not champions that are there to just do a bunch of AoE damage.
Speaking of champions that scale, can we get a quick stat check on our lovely little dragon in the bot side, Mr. Smolder? We're approaching the 25-minute mark. Does he have... That's only...
Oh, not quite.
No, needs the 250, I believe. Or
225.
225, yeah. He needs that 225. So, Horizon...
Interesting. The Spear of Shojin onto Bubble Lift is... So that build was really, really good last patch. Spear of Shojin got specifically targeted for a nerf on this patch because of Smolder builds. So Bubble Lift might be a little bit behind, but it's not to say that the Smolder's not going to be doing damage, especially with an Ornn on your team, right? That's the one thing that can keep this Spear of Shojin still viable.
Speaking of viable, I'm trying to find an angle onto Grease. The Sapling's going to do some minor damage to slow these members up. The shield has already been propped out for shield kills. And, you know, Horizon, they want to go for the Baron. You know, they've got to start finding an angle to end the game because, or really going to have Smolder coming back into the game. That 225, it's close. It's not far away. And it can definitely be a tide turner. Once they get 3 items online too, I mean, It's going to be crazy. Buff Zone may be caught out here by Grease and company, but they've started the Baron meanwhile. And I don't think IDE is aware. It's already down to 10k. Philly B kickflips over to the Baron, is forced to recall back. It's down to 6k. Call of the Forge God comes down as well as the Dawning Shadow. It's down to 5k. Can they find an angle just yet? It's Philly B. Can he pick off Grace? Forces the ultimate. They're forcing the fight. Philly B kills Grace. Looking for more into the backline. Keepsake goes in. Poops the Smolder back in. Double kill for Philly B. And that is Sutek picking up one onto Chill with kill slashes over the wall to find Eddie B. And he goes unstoppable, but it's not nearly enough. He does trade 1-for-1 with Philly B. Has to shut down on the Ornn, so it does not really matter. But it's a huge fight win, almost an ace. Eisenhower has the mobility to be able to get out in time, so he will not be able to get aced. But the Baron pings are coming back, and I don't think IDE is stopping this one.
Yeah, I mean, Philly B does go down there, but look at this Senna range. Oh my god, so much range on this Senna, and that means that your DPS is still alive. Your team is going to stay healthy enough to take this purple worm no matter what. And with Infernal in the wings in 2 minutes, this Baron take is unbelievably important. That is almost a 9k gold lead. We're currently sitting at, you know, 8-ish on the side of Horizon here. And, you know, I asked the question before, Solancho, how much of a gold lead do you need to have for it not to be throwable? And we're starting to get into those territories where Horizon can start to just walk straight down mid and take the entirety of the enemy base. But, you know, it's not quite over just yet. Philly B has not picked up that death cap, right? That is a huge shutdown from the Akali dying, going over to Eddie Boy, and oh my lord, they're trying to make it happen.
Yeah, they commit the ultimate on a Philly B. I believe should be able to get away here. A little bit of an early engage. Sutek wants to re-engage, though. It's a triple knockup with the shields coming down. The Call of the Forge God completely negated. Emperor's Divide only pushes away Buff Zone, and Grease is forced to flash over the one. Philly B finds Bubble Lift. Philly B finds 2. Philly B looking for potentially 3. Nope, that one's stolen by Buff Zone. Finally getting their first pick of the game. But it's Grease forced to run away with Chill with Kills back to the base, and it's end game angle now. You know, Doctor Strange said it best. We're in the end game now, and it is absolutely true. This turret will not live for much longer. You've got Void Goblins, you've got Baron buff, and you've got Take Him on Senna. And they are going to absolutely decimate Chill with Kills and Grease here if they try to fight. It's one last-ditch effort here onto the turret. And those just, you know, they're just not going to live much longer. And neither will Grease, and neither will IDE's champs. Can we get some Pog champs in the chat? Horizon takes the game 2-0, their first map win, their first 2 map wins in a row, and their first win of the season.
And just like that, we've seen, you know, over 1 trillion games played by Horizon, and in this timeline, this is the one where they finally win one. And it is off the back of Tamix Senna. I mean, that Senna, okay, hold on.
Okay.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves. The Senna,
this is
very, very good.
Philly
Don't get me wrong. But once again, Philly B, what the hell? Philly B has been playing so incredibly well throughout this tournament, throughout this series, right? The first game with that Swain really kept that team alive, really kept that team in the game until Olvarik manages to start putting out that huge damage on the Aphelios. Meanwhile, game number 2, this time, going to be topping out the damage charts with that Akali, 10-1 on that Akali. Absolutely killing it. I was saying it wasn't quite over because, you know, no death cap finished yet, but I mean, puts a cap on the series, just killing everyone, death abound, and Horizon with a 2-0, something I don't think anyone anticipated.
I'm right there with you, Anti. This team looked night and day from the last time we saw them last week. You can tell that they have been working hard to get their first win of the season, and they have been able to come out on top with that. And, you know, huge props to them. You know, Bubble Lift doing his greatest Olveric impression possible, but unfortunately did not have the comeback Olveric did. But yes, if I had to give it to the MVP, I got to give it to Philly B. That player is absolutely phenomenal. You know, they put on a clinic game number 2, didn't even need 3 items or a Rabadon's death cap. They just balled out as a Akali. And when you have so many squishies on the enemy team, you know, they're able to find it anyway. But yep, that's going to end up doing it. I'm not hearing any other words from production about anything. So that's going to do it for us. Congratulations to Horizon Zero Gaming for their first win of the season. My camera battery has died now, so you cannot see me, but I am waving goodbye.
All right. Well, y'all take care.
Everything that brought me alive, going wrong like nonsense, playing with the monsters. They brought me alive, but got no alibi. It's a lover's fight without an alibi. Took my enemy's hands without an alibi.
know